Okay, there we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, man. Happy Sunday to y'all. It's your boy Guru, and I am with my man Kev the Great. Before we get started and go too far, I want to give a shout out to Quinn Stewart, another my other co-host. His father had an emergency, and we're praying. So I just want to send shout out and love and prayers and all that to Mr. Quinn Stewart. So I want to welcome everybody that's watching on Twitch, YouTube, anywhere on Facebook. Listen on Spreaker and WLEOD app. So make sure you guys go ahead and download, or not download, but make sure you share the broadcast out with your friends and family members on Twitter and all of that good stuff. But before we get started, I got a surprise for Kevin. I've been teasing a surprise for Kevin all day long. He is so nervous. He don't know why he's nervous, but we'll be right back.
I feel like we in a wedding.
Hey, we back. Happy surprise there, buddy. I have been looking for that intro. Man, the other day, I was like, man, what platform did I use to get that intro? I can't remember.
He's a sneaky one, sir.
I told you, man, I was working on this side, man. I told you I was working. All right, so we have a great show lined up for you guys today. So we have a great guest. Today, I am not hosting the show. I'm here, but I'm not hosting. Kevin is going to be hosting the show from here. So if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, make sure you go ahead and send those in the comment section. That'll be great. Like I said, if you are listening on any platform, any of the Facebook platforms, YouTube or Twitch, make sure you share the broadcast out, send a comment and all that. So Kevin, before we get into the guest and the topic of the evening, how was your week?
Man, slow. But being a married man, I gotta learn to. I'm gonna say it online, and my baby's watching it, so I gotta be honest and truthful.
Gotta be careful.
I be forgetting my ring, y'all.
You be forgetting your ring? Don't play them games, dog.
But all right. So hear me out, though. Hear me out.
Okay,
right?
I hear you out. What's up?
I don't like to get it wet. I don't like to get it wet inside, so I take it off. All right, and then at night, so I take my shower and I put it on. We have a cute little ring holder. It says Mr.
Okay, you talking about your ring. Okay, no, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look here, man. All right, so when I put it down, I take it off, I put it down. I wake up in the morning, I get ready for work, and it's not on my dresser. We got separate dressers. I got my dresser, she got hers, and it's on her dresser. And of course, she got her side, with everything. And then mine is nicely stacked and neat. And so I get my wallet, I put my belt on, I put my essentials, get my keys, and I'm out the door.
Okay.
Well, I went to work. Now I worked 45 minutes. I looked at snap. Turned back around. I was late going back to work.
Yeah.
Forget, man. And she gets so sad. I'm like, baby, I forgot my ring. So the other day, just so she won't be sad, I went to work late. I hope she takes that into recognition, because I got chewed out by my boss just to, but I was like, all right, cool. I'll be late, I don't want to sad or I don't want a sad or mad wife. Happy wife, happy life. I'm learning.
That's what they say.
You know,
Yeah.
So I'm learning. Let me baby steps. We gonna get there. But she talking about super gluing it to my hand. I think that's gonna hurt y'all.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
You know what, Kevin? Let me keep it 100 with you. Is that if you ever get married, and take it from a guy who's been married as many times as I've been married, you will learn that when you don't have your ring on, you'll feel naked, and that comes with time. And
yes,
it's like
it already hit me because there's times I'm like, and I told her the other day, I said I feel naked without my ring.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I don't even want to go places without my ring. I like to this little. I don't wear jewelry no more. I haven't worn jewelry in pretty much over a decade. I used to have earrings. I had a necklace. I had a watch.
Yes.
Yeah. But I stopped. And when I stopped it all over the. One because I was working in the oil field. But now I'm like what's the purpose? I'm over that. But
right.
Now I'm trying to get back to used to wearing jewelry. Now she wants to buy me a watch, and I'm cool. I'm not a watch guy anymore, but I'm cool. I'll buy a watch, or I'll wear it if she buys it for me and things like that. But I'm gonna get used to it. It's gonna take some time.
Well, here I give you a suggestion. Okay, is that if you want to wear, you start with some costume jewelry. Get like paparazzi or something like that. Or you can get you a Samsung Galaxy watch. That's costume jewelry enough. All right, so let's move on.
You know what?
See, he brung it up. So everybody who's watching, people who's listening, you guys cannot see this, but this man who is married now. I'm married now. That was last week's episode. He is sitting here, and he is drinking a high C juice pouch. Like he's 6. Yeah, so I just want you guys to know that.
Leave me and my juicy juice alone. I done told you, bro.
And he ain't got no shame. But it's all love on this side, man. But if you're gonna get juice, don't let it be that. You remember the Mondos, the little plastic. I used
Tell me your age without telling me your age.
Yeah, tell me you're old without telling me that you're old. Yeah, Mondos, man, was my joint. Yeah, so let's get with it. So we're gonna bring on. You know what? I'm so used to hosting. I'm going to back up and I'm going to give Kev the flow. Kev is going to introduce our guest for the evening.
Kev? Appreciate that, Doc. All right, so our special guest today, and salute to E Digger who's not on the show, and my boy Q. We're gonna miss y'all today in today's show. Salute to y'all. But to bring on our guest, she is a well-decorated veteran of the military. Salute. I had to wear my Eagles military hat for her today.
Yes.
And I love her to death. She is the brightness of our life, me and my wife's life. That's my wife's best friend. Beautiful soul, very knowledgeable. And I mean, I can't say enough about her. And we can bring her on, Miss Victoria Camacho.
She's 12. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Hello. Sorry, my dog.
She looks like she's 12 in her pictures. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep riding that. All right, go ahead. We're gonna moving right along. Thank you, guys. Richard. Hey, Richard, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yes. Welcome. All right. So Victoria, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and we know you're not 12. All right. But give us a little bit about yourself and how of course we already know how we met. You don't have to say that.
Yeah. It's complicated anyway. So again, my name is Victoria Camacho. I'm about to be 40 this year. No, I'm not 12. I'm retired. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about that, but I am retired from the United States Army. I was a career counselor in the Army. I currently work for the federal government. I'm a single mom. one of my joys and the happiness that I have is taking care of people. I'm a very much of a people's person. And I try to be as genuine and as transparent as I possibly can be around anybody that's in my life. If I give you more than 5 minutes, you're probably like a
Family.
brother or a sister to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me
came on a
tell
little
you.
earlier. We came on a little earlier today, so I'm her brother now.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Nope. I'm very territorial over her. Nope, you can't have her. Nope. That's my sister.
Go to your room, Kevin. Go to
Hey,
your
man,
room.
you gotta be man. You
I'm
gotta be
in my
mean
room,
about it.
right?
You gotta be mean about it, man. I'm just. We're not gonna argue about it. Go ahead.
No, but she is definitely and you hear her say she's a people's person, so you definitely can't have her because some people. She's a people's person.
People's person. Yeah, she did say that. Yeah.
But again, she's my wife's best friend, and again, very beautiful soul. When these two get around each other, I don't exist no more. So I'm gonna take my time and enjoy this time right here.
Got it to you.
But getting right along into the topic. Today's topic is mental health. And it's lighten the load, and we're gonna get into one of the questions I got, which is how to lighten the load. But first, do you guys know when mental health takes place? I'm going somewhere with this, by the way. But that's my first question to both of y'all. Do y'all know when mental health awareness is?
It's the beginning of the year. I want to say March.
I know men's mental health was in July. I knew that. Men's mental health was in July.
And this is why I wanted to make this a little bit. This needs to be out there, and I had to learn. I have a buddy of mine who had a mental breakdown, and he's military, by the way. I love this guy. This guy is really he's one of my good guys. I actually had two buddies of mine.
Mm-hmm.
One was just down here recently, and another is far away in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still stationed there, by the way. But one of the things I wanted to get into is because we're not aware. We're aware of breast cancer awareness. We're aware of what's the one for men in November? No Shave November. There's a movement for it.
Mhm.
We have all these awarenesses, right? But we're not really keen in on one of the hardest, one of the I don't know. I don't think it's talked about enough. And mental health with men and women it's a real harsh. It's very harsh, and it's a hard topic for us not to talk about it. So
Yeah.
the month of May is mental health awareness. And I actually had to Google it. I knew we had a mental health awareness month. I just didn't know when.
Mm-hmm.
So my question, we'll start by I'm gonna go with my sister Victoria. Vicky, what do you think we can do to actually make this more known? Like, we have, like I said, we got breast cancer awareness. We also have suicide awareness, which actually mental health plays a percentage of suicide awareness. So it plays into a role of that, and that's actually big. How do we get this out there? How do we get mental health out, awareness out there even more?
I think it's talking about it. I think it's talking about it and not and those friends that when you're having those conversations in private, those rough and tough ones, men and females, male and females alike, when they're having those moments of, mental breakdown or just vulnerabilities, letting them know that it's okay to talk about it. And just, allowing them the opportunity to be comfortable and helping them feel comfortable when they're talking about that, and, letting them know when, if in particular you're speaking about the month in general, pushing that information is just making sure that everybody's aware of it when you have the conversation. I learned something new today. Mental health awareness is in May, just randomly having that conversation. Good thing about that is it can bring up mental health issues with you and your friends and family.
Yeah.
So I think it's just talking about it. And then the people that are closed off about it, letting them know and making them aware and helping them be comfortable with it.
Yeah. Same question to you, Mr. Guru. How do we commercialize it? Do we get? I mean, like she said, we talking. The small talk works too.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the past. We've seen it happen. It didn't. We didn't have back in the past. We didn't have commercials and big deals about the breast cancer awareness, it started to come out before social media.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have it, do we commercialize this more? How do we get it out there?
I don't think we commercialize it enough. I think, the first thing about mental health that, and coming from a guy who has dealt with mental health, is the fear of, it's that toxic masculinity for men, and the reason why they won't even discuss it, because they feel like there's nothing wrong, and as soon we have to get to a point where we have to understand that it is something wrong. Just like I remember reading a story just this past week about the husband from California. Now, this is sad. I might get choked up here, but the husband from California who took his 2 children out in the wilderness and and killed both of his kids.
What?
With a spear gun. You know why? Because he believed that his wife had gave his children serpent DNA. All because of that QAnon stuff, with Trump and the QAnon. I mean, it's crazy. Now, I know that this man had to deal with some level of mental health to do that, to kill his children. But a lot of it, I bet you, went unspoken for months, years, however long. And this is what it is. Now it's a tragedy. Now we have 2 children. He mercilessly, he pleaded. I mean, he went in there and confessed to the whole thing. Went in there and said, "Hey, yeah, I shot both of them with a shark."
Yeah, that's
a whaling spear gun. I mean, really? If men, I think, struggle with it more. I'm not gonna say women don't struggle with it, because I know you do, but men, it's really bad for us.
Because, and that's what I was gonna get into. And I know my sister Vicky has, has a level of expertise in this, dealing with this, being that she was in the military and also for what she does. Victoria, and what's your take on it? Men, like he said, he thinks, my opinion, I do think men do, because of the vulnerability. We're taught as young men not to be vulnerable. We're vulnerable, we're weak.
Yep. So that's exactly where I was going to start. I think it starts with parents. It starts with those moms and those dads saying, "I better not see you crying. I better not see you crying," or "Don't you cry in front of them people," or just it starts with the family members stopping our children from allowing us to express our feelings. Right. And that is hard. It is a very hard challenge and a very hard task in order to balance toughening your children and allowing them to express themselves, let alone doing it as a single parent. So I think our biggest problem is, yes, it starts at a young age, and it's very, very common for people to say, tell little boys, "Don't you let them see you cry. I better not see you cry," or little boys aren't supposed to cry, those type of things. So I do think it definitely starts at a young age. And then I think that just men in general, because it's their job to take care of women and to be the provider, and the protector. I think that the ego sets in to protect ourselves and our men. So I think it's, absolutely. I do definitely think it's worse for our men. I often wonder, what is the way to turn that around? That's the big question,
Yeah. And let's get into that. Let's get into that. How to turn it around after the commercial break. Your whole time.
That's right. Tune in to WLEO 26.7 online radio for all the newest music, hip-hop, and R&B from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Jazz and gospel, as well as new shows and local and national DJs on the ones and twos, getting you ready for the work week ahead, that party vibe, or relaxing at home, all on Baltimore's newest online radio station, WLEO 26.7 online radio. Worldwide listening entertainment online.
Upon listening to that commercial, I realized it's really, really long.
It is.
It really is.
But
Jesus, I'm sorry. All right, so getting back into it, turning it around. Before you can turn around, this is just my belief, Kevin, and Victoria, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think in order to turn something around, you got to first realize there's something to turn around. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Absolutely.
And a lot of people just don't want to deal with the ugly side of this because it does make you vulnerable. It does make you people look at you differently and want to handle you differently because you may struggle in an area. And this is talking about the kids now, because we're trying to shape and mold their upbringing and make sure that when they go to school that they're not dealing with mental health, because if they're dealing with mental health and they don't say anything or we don't say anything, as soon as that first bully says something to them, next thing you know, you were a story on the front page because we didn't deal with mental health. So how do we turn it around? That's the question. How do we turn it around? Where do we start?
Well, let's go with step one. Like she said, I love for parents to turn it around. Here's an example. My kids were here this past summer, and we spent a great deal with Victoria and her family, and my fiance, and all of our kids got together. Now, one person, in general, my son Dion, he's very closed off. He's not the type to really allow people in, and he doesn't like to be vulnerable. And I had a talk with him prior to getting here, like, hey, it is okay for you to express yourself, express your emotions. I don't care how it is. People are going to let you down, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, but learn from it. It's okay. It is okay, because like I said, when I was taught to be a roughneck. Like, I was taught to be rough, tough. You scrape your knee, don't cry. You cry, you better tuck that lip in, But when my son got here, the one thing that I noticed, when I introduced him to Victoria, he opened up. Within a couple of days, I saw him and Victoria become it was beautiful, it was special. And then for my fiance at the time, when Jen got to I just noticed he got closer and closer and closer to her, started opening himself up. He started being more emotional. He started letting himself be vulnerable. And I love that, the fact that it's going to help him in the future. Mentally, he's going to be able to, because let's say if we bottle our emotions, and I always told him, you bottle your emotions. He had as a child, he was very, me and his mom separated, he was very, he would bottle his emotions until he gets angry, and he would get the shakes, and he get angry and he grit his teeth. Now we no longer see that part of Dion anymore. That part of Dion has been gone, for a decade now, actually. And it's a beautiful thing to see him become a kid. So it needs to start with us as parents and these kids, because especially with this new generation that's coming out, oh man, they're a different breed.
Yeah.
And I don't think we don't want them to be a mixed
hey Rose
bag of emotions. It's going to be very mixed, and we don't want that. I mean, that's an ingredient to be very, very bad. But that's what I'm thinking.
I think the way you stop that is we have to, as parents, we have to learn to let our kids have a voice.
Yeah.
Growing up, our kids should be seen, not should be heard. When I say jump, you only ask how high. And it was one of the things that my ex-husband, when him and I had gotten back together, that we had a little bit of an issue, with, because while we were separated and I was being a single mom, I remember one time my daughter Haley, who's 16 now, I was at Fort Polk, and she had been asking for like a month or so for me to take her to like Six Flags or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she'd been asking over and over and over and over. And my daughter, she suffers from some mental health issues, some anxiety and some depression and stuff.
Yep.
And I always told her, I was like, not now, Haley, not now, not now, until finally one day. And I'm raising a little bit of a force to be reckoned with, a little fierce little one, although she's not that little anymore. But finally one day she said to me, but mommy, you've been telling me that for 2 months now.
Yes.
I've done my homework. I've had straight A's. I've been doing my chores. I've been doing all these things. And in that moment, I realized that I think she was like 10. I realized my 10-year-old is smarter than me. and I learned that life had got in that moment. I realized life had gotten in the way, and I didn't realize that I was too busy living life and trying to provide for my child and my children that and teaching them, the rights from the wrongs, that I forgot about the rewards. Right.
Right.
And in that moment, I learned that I need to allow her to have a voice. Now, again, like I said earlier, the hardest part is learning how to, that fine line between allowing them to express themselves and when there's moments when you can't. Because if you give a child too much, if in my opinion, and to me also, this is people in general. We're just right at the moment we're speaking about children, but if you allow a person too much opportunity to sit and wallow in their mental health, they don't learn how to become resilient, right? So luckily, somehow or another, my daughter, she understood the no. You know what I mean? There's a tone and or a not now. She understands that, so she knows that it's time to go shut up and color. Because mom, there's a reason for it, and mom ain't got time to think about. Don't have time to talk about it. But
that's
she also,
military in you, though.
yeah. But she also knows that when the time is right, I'm not in the middle of taking care of things. That we'll circle back around and have the conversation. But then she also knows. And I also know that those buts. The one thing that I've taught her is, if you're going to speak with intelligence. Speak with intelligence and make me shut up. Grab my attention, and for some reason, we had a way of doing that, and with my son, it's, he's 12 now, and, boys he's spoiled. That's all there is to it. He's my baby. But I definitely think it's allowing them a voice. The problem that you have with this day and age is there's a lot of people that believe that kids just shouldn't have a voice, because they're kids. But the problem is we're putting them out into the world. And if we don't allow them to have a voice in order to know when they need to stick up to when their heart's broken, or when they're sad, or when they're super excited, when they get out into the real world, they just take that weight and carry it over. And then they go into relationships like that. And that is how I think our mental health starts to grab hold of us. Go ahead.
If I could, and I'm going to get to, we're talking about the kids and trying to turn them around from their mental health and helping them. But we can't be as parents, we can't be the blind leading the blind. If we're struggling in mental health, ourselves, and we hadn't even dealt with our own, there's no way we can help, a child. Because everything is going to be, a false flag, and we're not doing it right.
Of course, of course, what you want to do is you want to talk from experience. Everybody's going to have somebody's had a mental breakdown somewhere along in their life. I've had probably about 100. We're not going to talk about it, but but I'm saying, like, when we get, at least when I think what helps this generation of kids, and what helps my kids. And when I talk to Haley, my best friend, shout out to my Haley. But when I talk to her, I give, and when I talk to to the audience, our audience on here, to our knuckleheads, I give from experience. And go back in history and watch any of our shows. You will see I give examples of me, and I'm bound to help somebody. And when you talk from experience, it not only it opens doors. It opens, okay, I can be vulnerable, or I can question this, or I can go about it maybe this way. If we give these examples, and we're also letting them know, hey, you don't have to follow me. I don't have to be your mentor.
Yeah.
I don't have to be your idol, but my examples, stay away from, or
Right.
my examples, learn from them.
Right.
And open that literally opens up doors. It opens up questions. I mean, we gotta allow our kids to question, like she said. Let them have a voice. Let them question stuff.
Yeah.
When they were young, we would say, "Hey, stop asking all these damn questions."
Yeah.
I'm tired of you asking questions. Why you gotta ask me? I'm like that. I get like that sometimes, but I have to stop myself.
Check yourself.
My son Elijah, and Victoria can tell you, my son Elijah, he'll come up to me about 30 questions, and I'll be like, you know what? Can I have like a minute or two where you might ask a question? But then I'll circle back around. I go, well, what do you think about it? I'll talk to him, But we have to catch ourselves. We have to stop. The old ways of how we were raised will not work with this generation.
You gotta believe that, buddy.
I'm at fault. I'm definitely at fault for that.
But the thing is, though, Kev, you one of the things you said is you've had a mental breakdown. Believe it or not, that's beauty. You know why that's beauty? Because that's a breakthrough. You broke down and you had a breakthrough to know that you couldn't do it, that you can't handle it. The ones we have to worry about, the adults we have to worry about, are the ones that are lying to themselves daily, every day, saying that they're, that I'm some of them tell themselves they're happy. Sometimes I'm not happy, but it is what it is. I don't deserve any better. It's those are the people that really need family, friends to just attack them and not let their walls, those solid walls that they've built around their hearts to protect themselves. You gotta let them know, hey, homie, I ain't leaving.
Yeah.
You won't get emotional with me. You know what I mean? Like,
I told you she was good. I didn't even see it that way. I told you she was good.
And here's the thing: is that with that unspoken anxiety, that unspoken self-hatred, that anything unspoken in mental health, these are the folks that, like Victoria said, they walking around lying to themselves, thinking they're okay. Oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. Then the same ones is going into movie theaters and shooting the place up.
That's right.
To the malls and shooting the place up, because we have to give these children, like Victoria said earlier, an outlet to be able to talk and to say, "Mama, Daddy, I'm going through this struggle." Like mine, Zariah and Zariah don't have a problem telling me, "Hey, Dad, this girl at schoolhouse messing with me." I'm telling my age again. I said schoolhouse, but anyways. That's besides the point. And so she'll tell me, but it's, and I appreciate her saying it to me, because it lets me know, hey, I know she's struggling in areas, but I know the basis of the struggle. And so a lot of parents, we don't understand the base because we're going through our own struggle and trying to wade our way through the fog, trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I definitely agree.
All right. So on the other side of the break, man, we're going to finish this up and have some more conversation, man. I'll stay right there.
That's right. Tune in to...
Not the one I want to play. Not the one I want to play.
WLEO 26.7 online radio.
Let's go.
Hottest in today's newest hip hop and R&B.
I tell you what, man, this Roadcaster Pro really get on my nerves. I hit the wrong button like every week.
You had one job. One job.
I know this machine got one.
All right,
man.
So,
I tell you,
and like I told you, man, like whenever I talk to Victoria, and this is why I really wanted Victoria on today's show, because not only her expertise and what she does, but the intelligent level. All right, whenever me and her have a conversation, she's known for literally breaking me down and assembling me back, putting me back in my parts.
That's military mindset.
And when she talks, you have no choice but to listen, because you want to hear what she says. She's very, like you said, it's the military mindset that she has, but it's a commanding voice. It's like, all right, listen.
This
is this. All right, put it all together now. Let's make it smooth.
Sounds like a D out of meat.
When you make a sandwich, you make a sandwich just not with the lettuce, but you want to add a little bit of this and a little bit of this and put it together, and there's gonna be a tasty ass sandwich. But I think
what happens is when our mental health is way out of whack and we don't have control of it, there's chaos in our brain, and when that chaos takes hold, we resort back to our muscle memory, our natural reactions, the things that we were taught from children. And a big part of mental health is learning to get comfortable with the things that make you uncomfortable, right? In order to change. It's instead of, if I'm having a moment and feeling really down and feeling like, my life ain't where I want it to be, it's teaching ourselves, you know what, Vicky, you're allowed to have this moment because you're not where you want to be. But you know what? You need to immediately sit down, cry it out, whine it out, have your thoughts, give yourself a few minutes, and then you need to think positive. But the only way you can do that is holding yourself accountable and learning to work through your thoughts.
Wow.
Right.
So with your friends, with your family and your friends, and when you're talking, and even when I talk to Kevin, it's all it is really, it's just helping him work through his thoughts, and helping him make sense of the whole process on top of seeing the whole picture.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know is going to be a big issue when my kids go out into the world, because I'm a single mom and my life pretty much revolves around them, is that when they get out into the world, they're gonna be like, holy shit, what do you mean the world don't revolve around me? So, and this is something that I constantly think about. And I'll tell you, these things, I was in counseling for like 7 years in the military. And then when I got out, it was really, really hard for me because I was, I medically retired at 17 years. I was at the prime of my career until finally I was like, you know what, Vicky, get the fuck up. Excuse my language, sorry.
You're fine.
I gotta mark my podcast explicit because you
Sorry.
want I'm kidding.
Get up.
Yeah, we're good.
Get a purpose. A lot of times our mental health gets way out of whack when we don't have a purpose. And again, even if you do have a purpose and you're in that state of chaos, you have to remember your purpose. You have to remember, is this going to matter for my purpose? Is this going to matter in the end? So when you're having your conversations with your friends and your family, you have to, like I told you the day before you married, Kevin, I don't care what happens. That place could be burning down. The only thing that matters is you show up.
That's it.
Your genuine self, you show up for your wife, and your wife's genuine self shows up. That is the only thing that matters. Everything else in this world, in that moment in time, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
She was
all
absolutely
the
right.
madness and the chaos that goes on along the way of wanting to make it perfect and to confess your love to your wife, or your soon-to-be wife, it doesn't matter.
Right.
In that moment. So it's understanding and controlling that chaos.
She literally saw my mental health issue at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole wedding, I had so much pressure. I felt like my head was gonna pop or my chest was gonna pop. One of the two was gonna go at one point.
Right.
And she literally had to. It was twice that she had to pull me to the side, like, hey, I'm gonna need you to get your shit together in so little words. But the way that she broke it down to where I can understand it, and I'm gonna get to a point too on this too, because I got a question. All right, the way that she got me, and all right, listen, you need to layer your troubles. All right, figure them out, think about it, go put it in a process in a blender, mix it all together. All right, and then come out with a product, come out with something, something that works for you.
A solution.
And it worked. It literally worked. Like after that, I was like, all right, cool. I need to calm the hell down. That's what I need to do. Because I had so much bothering me, so much going through. And the transmission on the van went out. I had this and I had the wedding and I got my family in town and I want to show them a good time and make sure it was so much. It was a lot. It was so much to take home. And for those of you, like I said, I had Victoria on my side. Because without her, I guarantee I wouldn't have made it. I hands down, I wouldn't have made it. But my question, here's what I want to get to, and a real solid question. I'm gonna start with Terry, and I want Victoria to finish it off. If we don't have that person, if we don't have that solid figure like Victoria in the background, how do we ourselves pull ourselves out of a hole that we dug for ourselves? How do we dig ourselves out of the grave instead of digging it even deeper?
Okay, let me take a stab at that real quick. First of all, people that's listening, get you a Victoria. Get you a Victoria. If you don't have a Victoria, get you one. All right. Secondly, no, but how you dig yourself out? I was, as you guys were talking a little while ago, I thought about the late great DMX, and he had a song called "One More Road to Cross."
Beautiful song.
And it was just a beautiful. And this is where sometimes I had to be and listen to this song and read the lyrics, and because I would be in a place like you, stressed out, not knowing where to go, and the verse goes, and the chorus goes, "One more road to cross, one more risk to take, got to live my life." Well, and gotta rap. Like there's one more move to make, one more road to cross, one more risk to take, gotta live my life. Like there's one more move to make. So in that course, I had to understand that no matter where I'm at, I got to keep moving.
That's right.
I was in the depths of, I don't know what I was in, but I knew I couldn't stay there. And I think if we get to the place to where we understand that we can't stay there, but at the same time though, there are some people who are comfortable with being in the muck. They're comfortable with it. They're used to it. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to chill right here because doing anything else might be detrimental to my health. You know what I'm saying? But we have to move on. Put that proverbial one foot in front of the other, and keep it moving through all of this, because nothing will get any better if we just sit there. Like Eminem told Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, don't just stand there. Do something. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. So I think what we have to do to start the process, though, first realize that we have an issue. Secondly, we have to realize that we cannot stay in that arena. We cannot stay in that place. If you need somebody to push you, again, and I repeat it, get you a Victoria. If you don't have somebody, call somebody that you trust, a mentor, anybody, but get someone who will give you that violent shove into that first step. That's what we need.
And let me make Victoria. I'm gonna make yours a little bit. I want you to dig a little bit deeper on this one too, because let's say we have extroverts in this world, introverts and extroverts. How do you get to how does that one person? All right, so we have the people that don't conversate or put themselves out there or make themselves vulnerable to those around us, even though they have others in their life that will do anything to help, actually. But how do those people get with their selves and say, hey, I can't do this no more, I need to be better, I can't sit and dwell in my own sorrows and be depressed and just constantly have these breakdowns. I need to be better. In your terms, how do I be a boss bitch? How do they do it? Because
there he is.
In everybody's life do it. How do you do it? How did you do it?
Accountability, homie. A decision, a choice. This is not what I want. How the hell do I get out of it? Because I was that person. That chaos was, and that's why I was so good at the Army. Because I can be in straight chaos and be bossing it and handling life as a whole. So naturally, I gravitate towards chaos, and then I'll do everything in my soul to get myself out of that chaos, to slowly allow myself to go back into it, because it's natural. That's what I grew up in, right? So to me, number one, if a person that you're dealing with isn't capable or is in denial about the fact that their mental health is affecting them and ultimately it's affecting you, the only person you can control is yourself. Remove yourself.
That's right.
Tell that person how you feel. Tell that person that you want to be there for them. Tell that person that you're good, that you want to be a good friend, but you cannot, because you are ultimately affecting my mental health. And then you walk away out of love. Every time I have a conversation, and if you remember, I don't know if you remember when we've had those two conversations, one of the first things I started to tell you is that that I love you, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, I told you, that I love you, right? So that's the only thing that you can do, because other people, you can't control them, right? And if their mental health is making your mental health a muck and a mess in your mind, then you have to pull yourself away. But it literally boils down to a choice. So if someone is so in denial to the point that they don't want to change their mental health, and they don't even see that their life is going in the wrong direction, and they're standing still. You I'm not saying that it's okay to just walk away. It's going to feel bad when you care about somebody, but sometimes a person has to be all the way down in the dirt in order to have that breakthrough, you know. And sometimes us enabling them and us being there and taking on that weight isn't beneficial to them. So, but that doesn't mean that when they circle back around that you be an asshole to them, you know. No, how you doing? How's your mental health? You doing really well? You know, like take those moments when you can, you know what I mean, to be an influence, you know. But ultimately you have to protect your mental health first. But ultimately, like I believe what you were saying is how do you as that person who is in the chaos, but they choose or their mental health is a mess, and they want to do better, right? They're in a position of like, I know I can't handle it. What do I need to do? It's ask for help. There are 800 numbers, you know, for calling when your mental health is crazy. You want to know the thing that I always, when I was going through my divorce with my ex-husband back in 2008, one of the things that I always used to try and tell him and I felt like works is go to a mall. You know those little old people sitting on the benches that are just hanging out and people watching? Just start talking to them.
Yeah.
They're neutral. They don't know you, but they're wise, you know, and be willing
well, you can't do that now because of COVID, but you know.
Yeah.
Stay 6 feet. Holler from the other side of the bench.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Just talk. Yeah. The thing that if you have a family or a friend that's in that place and it wants to make that change, you just have to let them know, like, then just speak to somebody, even if it's a little kid, because sometimes a kid has a whole bunch of insight, you know. So but ultimately is keep good people around you. Just keep good people around you and people that hold you accountable. So it's accountability and choices. It's making a choice to say, I can't do this. This is out of control.
Oh, wow. I mean, for those of you that haven't seen that circle of, you know, the circle of love and life itself, pretty much what she's telling you all in one bag of mixture. Put some right folks in your life. Even if you got to close your circle around. And I had to do it. I had to get rid of some bad people in my life. And some of them voluntarily left. Some left because they owed me money, and those $300. I look at it now as a more mature Kevin. That money, if you owed me that money, I literally paid you to stay your negative tail out my life.
Stay out of there, buddy.
Stay out and keep away. And so but it worked. And that person who's no longer in my life, or two people, as a matter of fact, there's other people that I booted. But when they volunteered their rights to leave my life for good, I've done so much better. With you, without you, I choose to have a positive life. Right. And my lifestyle has gotten better. My personal life has grown. There's a structure now when it comes to putting people in my life, like Victoria. I have a structure. I have to be able to. I had to learn how to read people again. Yeah. Because at one point I had negative people. I had so many negative people. I had to reevaluate myself and how to reevaluate people, how to put positive people back in my life. So, but yeah, man, it's one of those things that you got to learn. If you have to learn it all over again, don't feel shame. It's just something you got to do.
All right. So I'm telling you, it's all right. So on the other side of the break, man, we're gonna roll into our last break. We're gonna let Miss Victoria close it out at the other side, and then I have our Sunday funny. I saw this meme this week, and it was the funniest thing ever, and I want to share it with everybody. So on the other side of the break, Miss Victoria's gonna shut us down. Hold on one second.
Have a show idea? Want to host your own radio show? Are you a DJ looking for a place to showcase your skills? Contact us today at WLEO267radio@gmail.com. We've got a spot for you.
And you. We got All right, Miss Victoria, your final thoughts before we get out of here.
I would just say that, if you know, if you know a person, or if you as a person are going through a moment where your mental health is way out of control, the first thing you need to do is find a purpose. Find your purpose, and move towards that purpose. Make a list of things that are really sitting heavy. Allow yourself to work through those thoughts. Cross the things off when you're working through those things, because ultimately our mental health is usually connected to things, right? It's connected to struggles in our life, and it could be a confidence thing. It could be, just allow yourself to be rewarded when you do good for yourself, right? Hold yourself accountable when you make a mistake. Like if I went out on a date with a dude, or I dealt with a dude that, kind of got my mental health way out of whack. Well, he got me.
Yeah.
But you don't want that, Vicky. You don't want that. Walk away from it. You know what I mean? Like, hold yourself accountable, give yourself a purpose, keep your eyes on the prize, and keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
Actually said, "Oh my
And
gosh!"
I'm gonna drop this comment right here. This is from my friend Rose Marie Howard, who I ironically enough met her on TikTok, and we've been friends. And she came through today. I really appreciate you, Rose, for coming through.
I appreciate you.
Basically, if you stay around negative, you will become negative. Who and what is vital to a positive mind. So,
Facts.
birds of a feather
flock together.
Yeah, all day long. So you have to be mindful of the folks you hang around.
Yes.
Exactly, family too. I mean, they'll get you faster than strangers. But nonetheless, neither here nor there. All right. So what we're gonna do? I want to share this Sunday funny real quick before we get out of here. I thought it was hilarious. I just thought it was hilarious. And I'm gonna pull it up here. So I want everybody who's married. The folks that are listening to me on audio, you can't see the meme, but I'm going to read it to you. But here we go. Let me pull it up. You got a couple shout outs. Okay. I don't know why I read that out loud. Nonetheless.
I don't know why.
I don't know. But here's the meme though. Here you go. Okay. Y'all read it first.
Married couples never apologize after an argument. They just ask dumb questions to get back on good terms, like, was the stove still in the kitchen?
Let's see if I can get through it. When I first read this meme, and I instantly shared the meme, and I tagged my wife in it, and I was like, I'm that guy. Right? I'm that guy.
I'm definitely that guy.
Married couples never apologize after an argument. They just ask dumb questions to get back on good terms, like, was the stove still in the kitchen when you went in there?
I'm the one, and Jen actually caught on to me. But I'm the one that asked, "Hey, are you hungry?
You want tacos?
You want some tacos?" I know my way to her heart. I know when I ask about tacos, she get that, huh?
Yeah.
That smile. I'm good.
Did you watch that episode of Manifest Without Me? Whatever. It's crazy stuff. But listen, Kev got a couple shout outs. Kev, go ahead.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Victoria. You're such a blessing as always. I can't tell you enough. I know you heard it a million times from me, but you are a blessing in me and my wife's life. And thank you for blessing everybody with your thoughts and your comments on today's show. You made today's show run so smooth, and there's so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you talk to her, or you ever get a chance to speak with her, stop and listen, because you really don't have a choice but to listen. But I like to thank you for stopping by. You are such an awesome, incredible person, such a blessing to us. And Jen, your best friend, is still listening right now. She's watching you.
And now you best friend.
Yeah, oh God, look at her. Put a smile on her face just now. But a shout out to first, I want to send a shout out to my boy Andrew, who's coming back from out of town in Houston. And my brother Kenny, my brother-in-law Kenny, who coaches him, Pops, Mama, Haley, my best friend, who's traveling from out of town with him, her daughter, by the way. And again, thank you to everybody that listened today. I love all of your comments and everybody that participated. Those of you that are listening through the radio, again, replay it if you need some help. I mean, look, we're here to help. And the mental health is not something to take very lightly. Look at her, there she go. Love you too. Knew it was coming. But mental health, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason I wanted this to be a heavy topic today, and I brought the guest on for you guys, it's like such a special moment for me on this show, is to make sure she is able to give you the breakdown, and she gave you the breakdown. And so here we get to build. I want to do my part. I've always told Victoria too, I want to help. And I told my homeboys on, who are having issues, I'm here to help. I don't want you to fall down. When soldiers fall in the field, they pick each other up.
That's right.
You can look at me as that soldier. I'm not a military vet. I'm not in the military. I got military family and friends, and I'm here to help. If you ever need to talk, if I need to be your punching bag, reach out to me. Reach out to someone. Because like I said, and there's a reason why I said at the beginning of the show, I asked the question, when is Mental Health Awareness Month? And when you ask that question and your family and friends don't know, we're not aware enough. We need to be aware, people. We need to, they have a life. Mental health is a real issue. Yeah. We need to bring it forth. We need to bring it out there. I don't care if we commercialize it more. Suicide awareness, like I said, is part of mental health. It plays a factor. There's a big percentage in that. So if suicide awareness has a month, and we're aware of suicide awareness in the 1-800 numbers, like J. Cole said in his song, suicide prevention gets the mention. But what about the homicides and everything else? Yes, those play into all mental health. They have an issue. We have an issue, and it's not out there enough. And I wanted to, again, shout out to my boy. I told him, I wanted to talk about this topic, and he's comfortable with me bringing it out. And I'm not going to mention his name, but you know who you are, homie. I'm here for y'all, you and my other homeboy as well. I'm praying for y'all and everybody out there that is having this issue as well. Reach out, man. We're here to help.
Absolutely. All right. Excuse me. Ooh, Lord Jesus. I'm vaccinated. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. He got, in the words of Kevin Hart, you got the vid.
I got the vid. So let me give my shout out. I'm going to give my shout out to my lovely wife, Melissa. I'm not sure if she's listening.
And shout out to my wife too.
I'm not sure if she's listening, but my wife has took on a venture. She, you guys, I know Kevin knows, but my wife is a consultant with UBAM, Us Born Books and More, and she sells children's books. And so her goal is to buy a school bus and go on the road and go to different neighborhoods and states and give these underprivileged children books to be able to read. So I want to shout her out because I think she's an awesome woman for doing that. Yes. I'm gonna ride with her, on a couple of those trips, as long as she ain't going nowhere. That's 2 occasions. We good.
Y'all can drive down here to Texas. We got you. Me and Victoria got you.
For sure. I want to shout out.
I got some folks I can connect y'all with.
Oh, well, connect. Reach out, because any help that I can give her, any support that I can give her, I want to give her. If you have children, if you're listening to this on audio, if you're watching this on the replay, if you have children that are because if you look behind me, those of you that are watching on video, audio folks, all of this is her Us Born collection. So she has books galore all out the yin yang in this closet here, and on the other side. If your children is in need of books, well, they have different series of books for children, sports series, science series, all that. Reach out. Hey,
I got books to donate to her too.
Well, hook it up. We got it.
I got you.
All right. So again, I want to personally thank Miss Victoria for coming through on the show today. I really appreciate you. We had another guest, but because Quinn couldn't be here, she couldn't. She was on her way back to Houston, I think he said. But everybody who chimed in, Rose, Richard, all you guys that are watching, that's going to watch this on replay, I appreciate you. Jen chiming in. Don't forget to check out the website, Knucklehead Chronicles Podcast.com. You can check this out on any platform. And also download the WLEO app on Google and Play Store. You will be able to watch this episode later on. I think it uploads tomorrow. I think it is, but you'll be able to see it. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate you. Me and Rose got something in the works too for later on, but we'll talk about it. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. You guys have a great one. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Gotta wait for my part to come up.